Now, we shift focus to South Korea, where doctors have continued their protests against the government's plan to increase medical school admissions. At the center of the dispute is a recent government announcement that universities would admit 2,000 more medical students from the next academic year. Hundreds of senior doctors held a rally near the presidential office in Seoul. The government says it aims to add up to 10,000 doctors by 2035 to address what it calls a shortage of doctors in the country's fast-aging population. But doctors say higher medical school admissions will only lower the overall medical education level in South Korea and won't solve the resource imbalance. Before the rally, the doctors gathered at a meeting held by the Korean Medical Association. The association has requested the government to cancel the plan.
At this point, our goal is to make the government realize it is a wrong policy and urge them to start the dialogue from the beginning. I think it is the collective goal of 140,000 doctors. I believe that myself, the emergency committee and 140,000 doctors will voluntarily work together until that goal is achieved.
Through the week, collective walkouts of nearly 10,000 doctors have caused cancellations of surgeries and disrupted other hospital operations. It has raised concerns that more patients may miss the time for treatment as the stalemate continues. The Asan Medical Center and the Samsung Medical Center said they have cut the number of surgeries by over 40%. A few patients said they had been asked to leave the hospital as soon as possible. The South Korean government has said that it will continue implementing the policy and take prompt judicial action against the doctors' resignations. It has warned that the striking doctors, they need to return to work immediately or face legal action. In response, the association has vowed continued protests. Now, they argue that South Korea's population will continue shrinking due to the low birth rate, so there will be no shortage of doctors. But the decline in birth rate is alarming. South Korea has the lowest fertility rate in the world. In 2020, the number of the deaths had already exceeded the number of births. It's also important to mention here that South Korea's doctor-to-patient ratio is among the lowest in the developed world, particularly in pediatrics and emergency departments and in rural areas. The protests have thereby failed to generate public support, with a survey suggesting that about 75% of South Koreans support the government's push to train more doctors.